And welcome to Clockwise Thoughts. This young man to my left or right is black.
Is somebody behind me?
No, I said
You
this
said
young man
young
to
man.
my
I don't know. It better not be no man behind me. First off, it better not be nobody behind me. First off, hold on. Wait a minute. Uh. Yeah. What? What? Hold on. Man behind me. You know what I'm
I
saying?
said this young man
Ain't no man.
behind me.
Ain't no man behind me.
No,
Ain't no man behind me. That's all I'm saying. You a dog, but ain't no man better be behind me. What this look like?
oh my God.
But
He's
I'm black
black.
though. Yeah, what's all right? I'll do it. Yeah, it better not be no man behind me.
I'm
Young
scared.
man behind me. What you think this is? Yeah, we know that.
I'm scared.
What? Huh? Young man? What are you talking about? Why I look
Oh
older than most
Lord.
people, granddaddy?
Listen,
Bro, you can't say stuff. Bro, you can't say stuff like that.
I'm
Say
from.
stuff like
I
that.
promise. He been like this almost all day, and I barely been able to breathe because he have me laughing. But we trying to be serious. But you can't
You got me looking
listen.
around all
I'm
sideways now and everything. You gotta say young man over. What who you talking about? Damn sure ain't me. So if it's somebody behind me, he about to catch that boat.
I'm gonna say this: if you cannot have
Just
fun at
saying, bro.
work, if you can't have fun at work and enjoy what you do,
Hey, we ain't into that type of fun.
you because he's still going.
Now
I
I'm
was
on guard
calling
for
you
everything.
young.
Ain't even
I
nothing
was
here. I'm on
calling you
guard for.
young. I was giving you a compliment saying the young man black to my left or right.
You was giving me a compliment by making me think it was some young man behind me, because you obviously couldn't have been referring to me. Okay, thank you for said compliment. It made my heart race. If that's what you wanted, that was the reaction you was looking for. Tell what you got. Cause I was like, who, what, where, when,
Oh
and
my
huh?
God. Oh
Nah,
my
bro.
God.
No,
That's
no,
too
no, no.
that's
No, no,
too
no, no. I'm
funny.
sorry.
I swear to God,
Watch
he
my
didn't have
back.
me dying. He's had me dying laughing all day. Like
Nah, bro. I'm just saying.
but
Just saying.
anyway,
Just saying.
on a serious note, earlier today we talked about a case that most people it has not really been in nationwide news, but if you live in North Carolina, the last couple of weeks, this young lady from February 4th went missing. A mother of two and suspecting her third child, Mrs. Britney Smith, went missing on February the 4th. She was, first and foremost, let's give a little background on Miss Britney Smith. Since the research what me and Black did is very little information. Uh, Even the arresting report has not been released yet. Because believe me, I've been looking the majority of all day for this. But let's give a little background on Miss Britney Smith. She's 28 years old. She's 4'11", 115 pounds.
Sound
Now,
hungry.
Mrs. Smith lost her job during this pandemic and has become homeless. Her and her longtime boyfriend were staying in someone's backyard in a tent that had like a propane heater or space heater to stay warm. The gentleman that let them, he couldn't provide them shelter inside his house, but he did let them have his backyard towards the wood line to help them out. Now, Mrs. Smith's boyfriend has not been charged yet to this time or even being looked at as a suspect because he was away trying to do day labor work to provide foods and ends for the couple. Now, there have been two people arrested, Thomas Johnson, 37, and Amelia, and I'm going to mess up her last name, please forgive me, Travina, 24, of North Carolina. They got arrested February 10th at a traffic stop. Now, Mrs. Smith's body was found. She was strangled to death. Something was found around her neck. But this is the thing that set it aside from everything else. She was found in a purple suitcase. Now, every last one of us here has seen luggage before. And we know what that big bag, and trust me, from I've traveled all over the world, I know that bag can hold up for even up to a plane. 110 pounds is maybe what, 7 outfits, a couple condiments. So no one's really going to judge it. But she was found, that suitcase was found near the riverbank. Purple suitcase. And the sheriff department made a statement. No one actually deserves to die, regardless of the circumstance or anything else. But the way how this young lady, who was also 6 months pregnant at the time of her brutal murder, did not deserve this, homeless or not. Now, Mrs. Smith's parents have not made a comment. Her mother or anyone has not made a comment, as far as what we can be able to tell. And all this went down last week before Valentine's Day. But the tragedy of this story to me is, okay, she had 2 kids. 2 kids who was living with relatives. She loved to dance for her kids, trying to get back on her feet. To be back being, no, well, she steadily was a mother, but being a better mother than what her circumstances was allowing her. Even though, yes, she was pregnant again, but she was on that road. Now, the 2 suspects that got arrested are being charged with murder in the first degree, child murder, and tampering with the body. To me, it's enough stuff in this world that women have to go through. And we can't speak on it from a male's perspective of saying how a woman feels in her body when she's going through being pregnant. But till you lose your life, when you're almost ready for your son to be born, you're at 6 months and some change. And you lose your life that type of way. And no regard of that she was pregnant or anything else, or no regard for her life. You stuff this lady, as Black has been saying all day with us researching this, you stuff this lady in a suitcase. Yes, she could have fit in a suitcase. She's 4'11". We ain't even gonna go there with that because that's nonsense. But you stuffed this lady in a suitcase. It has been no motive of why this couple did this has been released yet, or any connections that they had with Miss Smith. But to do something like this to any individual, to stuff them in a suitcase, your mindset and your humanity is gone. And for 2 individuals to do this to one, I'm sorry, 2, because she was pregnant. You took 2 lives. It's unspeakable. It's far from right. And I pray that the North Carolina Sheriff Department in this county, I think it's either Raleigh or Wayne, I'm not for sure, I have to go back and look. I hope they find due justice for Miss Smith. Black, you got anything?
Well, I mean, like I said, I'm still stuck on the getting stuff in a suitcase part, truthfully. Like, but that, and you know what I mean? It's just crazy because, okay, so the boyfriend's not around. Hasn't been revealed if he's the father of the unborn child. But at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
4'11" and 100 and how many pounds?
15.
See,
Dude, that's
okay, like
about as
4'11",
much
like
That's like
but
normal
the thing is,
luggage to us because that's going to
but the
fit
thing
in the
about
box in the airport.
think about it like this though. You're 4'11" and 115 pounds. That might make sense at 4'11", but you 4'11", 115 pounds, while at the same time 6 months pregnant. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. That's that's a very very. I think that's an underweight person. Even though I'm not exactly sure how much you're supposed to weigh at 4'11", but at six
Right.
months pregnant, I would think, yeah.
Well, that's
So again,
something else
we ain't got the
that we
details.
didn't know, or I couldn't find out. Was she actually going to the doctor regularly, or anything else like that? I couldn't track down any information like that. Like how I said, it's very they are releasing very little at this moment because the investigation, I guess, is still ongoing, and they putting all the pieces together. Dotting their I's and crossing their T's to make sure this sticks. But the stuff what I just found reading the articles, that everyone is saying the same thing. She was homeless. She was staying in this. Her and her boyfriend was staying in this man's backyard. They had a space heater, and then all of a sudden, all the reports go completely left. She's in a suitcase, strangled to death. She has something
So
around her neck.
so
This is, and I'm like,
so the male suspect, the victim and her boyfriend were renting, I guess you could say, space in the male suspect's house or yard.
no, 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 no. This was someone totally different. The guy that was
Interesting.
letting the guy that was actually letting them stay. That's not the guy that was. He's not a suspect either. Nor is no one in his family. It was someone totally unrelated to their situation of where they were residing at. Totally.
Hmm.
And that's the thing that caught even me off guard. Well, then how did these people? Okay, I understand she was homeless. That meant that okay, she probably either went out for work or something like that of that nature to either get food or something. And these people just ran across her, I guess, because she was missing from the 4th. She was reported missing on February the 4th. So law enforcement in North Carolina knew that she was missing because it was a report, right? But
Hmm.
okay, think about it. It took 6 whole days. 6. I'm not saying that that process should have been shorter or whatever else, and especially with the winter weather advisory and stuff like this that has swept through this whole entire nation over the
Well,
last
I don't
week or
think they
so.
actually tried to get rid of the. It doesn't really seem like it was. It's stated they tried to
Right.
get rid of the suitcase. They didn't try to burn it
Mm-mm.
or anything like that.
No, didn't do any of that. I guess they thought by placing it close to the riverbank and with the snow and whatever else, I
It
guess
was gonna wash.
yes, either wash away or stay covered
Okay.
until they could either probably get out of the area or whatever else. But you got to think about it.
Well,
These
yeah,
last
because I
couple of
mean,
weeks,
does anybody even have a record of seeing them with the suspect? You know what I mean? Because I thought
yeah,
they were.
that part
I
ain't
thought
even been
the male
released.
suspect was the guy whose house she used to live in the back of. But
Mm-mm.
if those are two different people, you know what I mean? Yeah, like I can't even begin to give you a motive.
No, I can't. That's why I'm. We're gonna be looking at this kind of closely, and hopefully we can get some better insight and information about this. But it's just tragic. It's like how
Very.
you said, being pregnant alone, your body weight fluctuates and stuff like that. But for you to
Man, she
be
should
four
be
eleven
heavier
and you're
than
one
she's
fifteen,
listed.
right?
Yeah,
You're
that
4'11" and 115, and they
that sounds
strangle
like
you and
that
stuff
might
you
be
in a
okay for a
suitcase.
person. That might be a person that's 4'11", You know
Right.
what I mean? That weight might be acceptable for a
Oh,
frame that's small, but again, at
well,
6 months pregnant,
I look at it this way: each
that ain't a lot of
pregnancy,
body.
yeah, each pregnancy is different. We
Yeah,
can't really speculate because we're not females, but I'm sure our female viewers, the ones that are mothers or whatever, would know. Your body weight fluctuates. The
yeah,
standard.
you go up and down. You
I'm
swell
not
up,
gonna even
and
say
then
the standard.
you pass
I'm
some
gonna say
water out.
this, and I know some people probably gonna get mad. The typical, sarcasm that we give women these days is ridiculous. And it's been going on for so long of, oh no, she gotta be petite, she gotta be, 5'5"
Well,
brown
cross that
eyes,
stereotype.
130,
Stereotype.
135 pounds. Like,
Cross that stereotype.
listen, right. The way how I see it, even to our female viewers, love to skin you in because listen, people love you
Mm-hmm.
regardless. Don't go into that if you want to lose weight for you, do it for you. Don't do it
Do for
for
you, yeah.
somebody saying yeah, because that's honestly ridiculous that people
Because
steadily in
if
this
that
time and
motivation goes away, if that person goes away, then it's almost like, well, what are you really in it for? You know what I mean?
right, and this is ridiculous. But our
Again,
prayers
somebody
and
can
thoughts
appreciate it.
goes out to the
That's
Smith
awful.
family. Uh,
Hopefully, they get
like
some
I said,
conclusion and some form of a resolution. You know what I mean?
yeah, some form
Because
of
again, we don't
resolutions I
have
hope
really
that they
any
get.
information right now. I don't know if the family has been briefed on what the officers, the cops have uncovered up until now, but there's a lot of holes to this story. There's a lot of missing information that
Yeah, and
we're
and,
gonna have to
and
wait until it comes in. But we definitely gonna give the updates when we do get that information. We're gonna come back here and I'm saying we'll explain it to everybody. Let them know what we found.
yes, and moving not to say moving on, but another update. Miss Aaliyah Taylor. We spoke previously about
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Chad Wheeler. Well, his ex girlfriend, her name is Miss Aaliyah Taylor, finally spoke here recent. Well, Good Morning America. No, she didn't speak with Gail, but she spoke with her international correspondents in a small interview. And from such interview, you could honestly see the fear because she went
Yeah,
his first court day. And it's like how she says she still feels for her life because,
yeah.
like how she said,
But at the same time,
Chad has money and he can reach out to still get me.
but at the
Lady,
same time, even in the process of feeding for her life, she realizes she kind of has to stick up. You know what I'm saying? She has to stand up for her life. She has to show them that it's not gonna, even though she's petrified, it's not gonna stop her from living her life. You know what I mean?
right. And
She's
that's
gonna
actually
be
what
there
she
at the
said in the
courtroom, so
interview.
that way
Uh,
they can see her and they can know that it's hard for her, but she can still move forward.
yes, because this young lady will now permanently have screws and plates in her left elbow, crushed.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to make a correction. On our previous show, when we was
Mm-hmm.
talking about this, me and Black said that she only blacked out once. No, she clarified that in this interview she passed out twice.
She
To the
lost
point that she
consciousness
did
twice.
not know. Yes, to the point of well, she did not know
Now
what
the
was going
interesting
on.
thing, now the interesting thing about this, no, no, I was saying the interesting thing about this is when you watch the interview and she gives her recall. She mentioned how he shaved his head,
Yes, and it
then
started
gave her the
from this guy
instructions to
having
bow.
long hair to his back majority of his life, and then just busted off one day. And she asked him why. Why did you do this? And then it's like from then on, he said, "You need to bow to me."
You couldn't get a straight answer out of him,
Right. And but then the only thing what he
and he
said
didn't
is
give her
that you
really a
need to bow
response,
to
and then he
me.
just gave her the same instruction again.
Right. And then he
But
grabbed her
and I
by the
mean,
neck. And then it
I'm not trying to
started.
be that
Like,
guy. I'm not. I'm not trying to be that guy. So please, forgive me if it comes off as I'm trying to be that guy. But I look at it like, okay, you had long flowing locks. The things that I wish I had. You could have went to flick of your hair. So you had that, which she said that he coveted, that he held that sacred. I can understand why he had a good head of hair, but he shaves all that down. Okay, then he talks to the black chick and he tells her to bow to him. Like, I ain't trying to be rude. Maybe it's low hanging fruit, but it kind of looked like you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
It
I
kind of
totally
it
understand.
kind of seemed like he got on his, and I'm not trying to even be funny when I say it, but it's almost like he kind of got on his Aryan Brotherhood, and yeah.
It's hard to
So
say because it's like how she said in the interview. She was like, from them being in a relationship for 6 months, never having an argument or anything else. And then once she asked him why did he just go in the bathroom and cut his hair, and then she was like, a switch just clicked. And for
well,
him
that's all I'm
demanding
saying. It's
twice
it's
for her to bow,
that's something that.
I don't know. But my thing is this: I like what she said. She said, yes, I understand he has bipolar issues. I understand that, but it was a
But at the same
different
token,
tone, right? It was a different tone when he was just dealing with her for when the police came, or when
hmm
the paramedics came to help her. It was like, oh no, no, I really didn't mean this to happen. I'm sorry, I didn't know what was going on. But she said, when you have the time to sit there and drink your shake and then ask, you're still alive, like how we previously said, stop in the middle to ask her,
yeah.
oh, you're still alive. And even reliving that, you saw during the interview, she was shook then, like, did he just ask, as it took a, a breath of air,
Well,
I'm still
yeah.
alive? And then they
Look at
played a
her side.
portion
Look
of
at
her
her side.
911 call. Like, they played a portion of her
Oh, she
911
sounded
call.
scared. Yeah,
Right.
that 911 sounds
She
that
was
911
scared
call
and whispering.
sounded legitimately
Right.
scared.
She was whispering in the bathroom. Like, uh, mm-mm.
That's what I'm saying. I don't necessarily know if bipolar disorder could cause you to do that to somebody. Like, you literally would have to just completely snap at one specific moment and then just, kind of go on a warpath. But like I said, I don't know. I don't know because I see the pictures of him in the courtroom with the shaved head, and I'm not trying to be rude, but it does kind of look like, he kind of went semi skinhead. You know what I mean?
I don't know
It
if I would
does
go
kind of
that
come, and then
far
with the
with
details,
it,
it
but
kind of comes off like that.
it kind of does. But
It
I'm
seems
not gonna
like,
say I'm gonna go
again,
that far.
when you say some nonsense, like you tell somebody to bow to you, that's a that there's something deeper than just, you know what I mean, hold a door open or something like that. When you tell somebody to bow to you, you are trying to you are trying to I don't want to say establish, but you're trying to implement your dominance over the person and or thing that you're dealing with or whoever you're referring to. So when you telling somebody to bow to you, it's almost like you stop seeing them as a person, you start seeing them as a lesser person.
Yeah, because either way
And
it was, it made no sense. It still makes no sense to me of how it actually went down. It's still, I'm still trying to grasp that in my mind of
mm-hmm.
you came home, you went to practice that day or whatever you went, and you know you came home, and from the long hair that you had for years now, you buzz off. And then when you're asked why, your whole demeanor changed to this dictatorship. Now that's the part
Well,
of it
bruh,
where I see where you said what you said, but for me, I'm more looking at it as I'm not gonna try to go that far with it. I'm more looking at it. Did he have a God complex at the moment? Did he have that moment of you're lesser than me? Did
well,
something
that's
click
what
right then?
that's what I'm saying. Is that realistically, is that really a God complex? Or again, maybe I'm just maybe I'm clutching at nothing here, but it just uh, li- like I'm not trying to disrespect these groups of people. All right, I'm not trying to disrespect this group of people, but to my understanding, the Aryan Brotherhood is kind of, wouldn't that isn't that in a sense what they call white supremacy? You know what I mean? I'm superior to you. Now, I don't. Again, I'm not trying to say that's what happened here, but it's like when you listen to the clip from CBS this morning, and and you hear the actions that he took right before this happened, it does kind of make you wonder, why would you, you know what I mean? Why would you shave your head? Why would you
Black, are you still there? Hello. Okay, we got a little bit of technical difficulties, but yeah, even the update with this story is still.
but you know what I'm saying? So when you buzz that all off,
Mm-hmm.
it's there's something that usually there's something that usually goes along with it. You could just be tired of it. That's true, but if you're bipolar, then you could kind of see that as personality change. I'm not saying schizophrenic. I'm not saying paranoid or anything like that. I'm just saying,
Mm-hmm.
you go from hot to cold, 0 to 100. You were good with the hair on your head. The hair come off your head. Now you on the total opposite end of the spectrum type thing. I'm just saying in that
Yeah. Once again, Black is cutting in and out. Um,
Yeah, I was having
you
a
know,
little bit of a technical difficulty.
it is okay. But even with this update, people, please, if you have not seen the clip of this woman's interview, please. I'm not gonna say it's not heartfelt because it is. I'm not gonna say some of the stuff is going to that's being talked about in it is not graphic, but it is. But take the time to watch and listen to that 3 minute clip of her Good Morning America interview. It puts a lot of her story into light from her perspective of what she went through. And believe you me, you will hear even when she's talking about the fear that
Yeah,
she thought her niece and nephew was right. They thought they lost her.
but it just it I'm not
Brings
like,
a lot of
again, I'm not
questions.
trying to pick at the low hanging. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to pick at the low hanging fruit just because it's an interracial couple. But you know what I mean? When she says what she said, when you use those words, if that's really what happened, that
It
you know
brings
what
a
I
lot
mean?
of
It
stuff
just
into question, and
it does, doesn't it? It really
but
does.
my thing is this, and I will honestly say this. It brings a lot of things into question about the mental side. One thing that I don't like that the media has tried to flip on it is that, well, it's an interracial thing. someone's going to try to either beat or whoop, or it's going to be something like this down the road, which honestly that is not true. It don't matter what type
Nah,
of
I mean you
relationship
don't.
that you're in, all
Yeah,
of
you
them
don't get in
has
a
its own
relationship to
problems
think that
and stuff like that. But
you don't get
what
in a
I don't like,
relationship to think at some point down the road I'm gonna have to like smack. You know what I mean? Like that's not what you're in a relationship for.
right,
That's
but that's the
ridiculous.
way how a lot of this has been spun of, well, it's a black and white thing, this and that. And I'm sorry, no, listen, no, I'm not sorry, I'm gonna say it anyway. It
Ain't
don't
nobody arguing about
matter
that.
what color or creed that you are. If you love somebody, you love them.
Yeah.
You, and all of us is only coming this way one time. You get one life. What you choose to
Well, I
do in
mean,
your life is what your
she thought
choices,
he was
what you
trying to
make.
end hers.
Right. But at the end of the day, your choices is your choices. Good, ugly,
Yeah,
bad,
right, but
messed up, happy, or sad, them is your choices. Do not be afraid to love the person who you love, and try cold heartedly. Don't try to have regrets of how your life went. Because I'm gonna say something, and I know most people are gonna say it's cliche or whatever else, but Rocky Balboa said it best. Life ain't sunshine and rainbows. Nothing in this world is going to hit harder than life. Nothing. And for these two women's circumstances, Miss Brittany Smith and Miss Aaliyah Taylor,
mm-hmm.
one is still here to tell her story, the other one's life is gone. Both tremendously sad and wrong.
Very, very.
Very sad and wrong. So, this is what me and Black, for our female viewers, we would like for one of y'all to come on the show just to answer a couple of questions about the female side of all of this. You know, please, we look forward to speaking with you and having a conversation. So we implore for the female side of this, from the dating situations to where people are still on the fence if your body's really your body. We want to actually have a conversation about it all. And please leave your comments, your ideas with it, even if you don't want to speak. We want to hear from y'all. Because this, what's been going on here in the news lately, it's been all wrong towards females. Every last, this, especially with these two tragedies right here, it's just wrong. Totally wrong.
Very.
Now, with that said, we're going to say this. We're going to dig a little bit deep into history. Just a little bit. We know the 14th Amendment is the amendment that's been spoken the most through the judicial and lawful system of the United States. The fiber of what really the Constitution means to be a citizen in the U.S. To actually have the law work for you because you're a citizen, no matter race or creed. That's just the gist of it.
Mm-hmm.
But have this amendment, even still to this day, is it actually working for you? Now, don't get me wrong, this amendment brought same-sex marriages. This amendment brought interracial marriages. This amendment brought a lot of equality, not only for women, but it also brought a lot of equality for minorities, men, women, whatever else you had. This amendment alone has did this. But actually and factually, How many people really know about the 14th Amendment?
I mean, hey,
Me and
I was in the dark myself. I ain't
me
gonna
and
deny it. I was
Black
in the dark myself.
Me and Black encourage you on Netflix. Will Smith and Netflix has partnered together to break down a limited series called Amend. It's all about the
Mhm.
14th Amendment, and it's about every human being in America's rights. If you're born here or if you have citizenship here, it protects you and it actually supposed to work for you. But the real question is, like how we said, do it actually work for you?
I
Or
mean,
does it actually just
it
work
might
for a
work for
select
Joe
few?
down the street. It might work for
Because
Sally around the corner.
true, because honestly, during the Civil War, when you get labeled 3/8 of a man or a human, this amendment did not work for you. Did not.
but but that's what was there. So
Yes.
unfortunately, at the inception, that's what we had to go off of. You know what I mean?
Yes. And you know what?
It's a part of American history. It may not be the pretty part,
Yes.
but it's still a part of American history.
But this is also the thing. Most people doesn't even know behind this amendment, it
Mm-hmm.
ties to not one, but two presidents back to back, which one president helped free the slaves, but a civil war
Mm-hmm.
started. But then that same president,
Union try to fracture.
you know, try that same president said words like this: "If I can save the Union at any cost."
Yeah. Then he sees everybody else as collateral damage.
So you say that you will save the Union at any cost, and then
I look.
you ask black leaders and high stature people, well, basically, isn't it your fault? And if you leave, wouldn't everything be better?
Mm-mm, nowhere near. You gonna blame me for something
But
I didn't do?
but when it comes to part that you're actually losing this war, you had no other choice to go with Mr.
Yeah.
Douglas's words and saying so you can have it back to win this war. But then once you clearly get assassinated afterwards,
Mm-hmm.
your predecessor didn't want to say, well, he said in certain words of, well, listen, I've never sold slaves. Yes, I bought them and I helped your people out, but you're trying to talk to me like you're not beneath me.
Well, then you see, but you see, there's that beneath, there's that hierarchical structure that makes me question when a person shaved a head and looks at a person of a different race and says, "Bow." It just makes you wonder.
I'm going to say this to tie this all up together. Like how we said last show, we even said on our live stream, if you have not seen Black Judas in the Messiah, well, Judas in the Black Messiah, I'm sorry.
Mm,
I, I will say this, go see it. Yes, it's American history. I'm not going to say it's Black history, it's American history. Because Black people were part of American history. I'm not going to say it like that.
yes, they were. They are still American.
Yes. But I'm going to say this. There's two performers right now that's getting a lot of flack. One is dead and gone. Another one is the first. artists to become a billionaire, and it's Nipsey Hussle and Jay Z.
Mm-hmm.
Nipsey gone, but for
Yeah.
their song, they're catching flack right now, and the title of the song is "What It Feel Like," and it's because Jay Z broke down the Capitol riots, and the guy sitting his feet on the desk, and not only him is catching flack, comedian Dave Chappelle is also catching flack because he said at one of his
But that ain't
shows,
Dave ain't no stranger to that.
no, Dave is not, but even Dave said at one of his shows, for 30 minutes, you, you felt how the other side has felt. 30.
Mm-hmm.
And you was not peaceful.
And
The the protests on the Capitol, the Confederate Army didn't even carry their flag in there. But these trials is going on about these people. You're trying to tell me
mm-hmm.
that it was way over 30 that went in there, but only 11 on trial, and they're getting marked down to probably probation, time served. You may get a year. It's always two sides of every coin. But sometimes you can see what's clear and what's right in front of you. Still a lot of work in our lovely country that needs to be done. Still,
Okay, there we are.
still, it's still a lot of healing that got to be done. And I'm not gonna say me and black on either side of it. We're not, because American history is American history. It doesn't matter. Well, it does matter of the fact that even if it's the Civil War or to 9/11, still American history.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in this country, you're a part of that history, regardless of what color, race, or creed you are. It's all the same history of ours.
That's if you're born
But
here.
but once again, we plead with y'all to say, when you hear stuff like this or see stuff like this, stop categorizing it. If it's black or American, Chinese, if it's Chinese, white, or whatever else, it's all the same. It's all the same.
Mm-hmm. Still an
Yes,
American.
do it hurt? Does it hurt different for each one? Yes, it does. We're not saying that
Yeah.
it don't,
But at the end
but
of the day, y'all
stop.
still American.
Yes, stop profiling it like this, because it's getting to the point to where more and more with each report, each each case, you're putting it into either minority or white. It's either minority and it's labeled black, Hispanic, whatever it is, or if it's white. Stop that. Each one of these cases that we've talked about, from Chad Wheeler, Britney Smith, Morgan Wallen, the lady from Mandalorian, Breonna Taylor, the list goes on and on.
Mm-hmm.
It does not matter, regardless of the fact, all Americans,
Mm-hmm.
wrong stuff has been done, and or either wrong stuff has been done, injustice has been done, or they have did something that's not out of character in a home life, but it just got brought into light.
Yep.
We are still not saying that it is not wrong either way. What we are asking, and we've been saying this for weeks now, knowledge is key. Use
Okay.
this.
Key to everything.
Use
Got to
this
make sure the brain bucket is all set.
to weed through all this racial divide stuff. Yes, is it wrong to say the N word with a hard R? Yes. Is it right for people to say, well, black people use it? They don't really use the same word. It's spelled totally different. Got two totally different meanings. But is it right for us on the other end to be like, you blank this or that? No, it's both wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to sit up here on this platform of ours and say it's right, because it's not. We've been saying it's all equally wrong. And that's
Mm-hmm.
nonsense. So during this time right now, from one mayor in Texas saying the strong will survive and the weak shall perish, sir, that resign letter that you wrote
What?
was wrong. You wrote it because your wife lost her job off the flack of what you said. Instead of
Mm-hmm.
you coming towards your towns or your city to try to look for help because they ain't never went through no weather like this or anything else, you turned your back. And this is what we've been saying from the jump. That type of behavior is wrong. It's not right. And
Mm-hmm.
may God have mercy on your soul. You turned your back on the people that elected you into that office. But then you wanted them
I
to feel
mean,
sorry after you came out publicly and said, may the strong survive and the weak shall perish. So basically, you said one life is worth more than another. And no, sir, one life lost is too much.
yeah.
From me
I
and
mean,
Black having
some
friends and
things can be
family,
avoided, but
right?
yeah.
From me and Black having friends and family all through Texas, our hearts and prayers go out with y'all up through North, who we also have friends who's ever been touched by this storm and this winter weather that's been going on. We hope that y'all are safe. You still have conscience of mind and still here. Our prayers go out to all of y'all.
Because they need
And
them.
please, yes, please don't try to stay at home. Go look for your local shelter, somewhere to find heat or something.
Mm-hmm.
This is,
I mean,
Black
snow
said
is
it
all fun and
best.
playing and everything, but at the end of the day, you know what I mean? It's cold, and there's some people without utilities, so this is serious.
Right. And Black said it best earlier. This is not time for us as a nation to lose our humanity. It's time for us to bond together to help out our fellow American. It's not
Mm-hmm.
time to sit back and not do anything. We hope
Like I said, at
this
the end of the
show,
day, we all still Americans,
right?
regardless
We
where we
hope,
from. We all still Americans.
bottom line, we hope with our platform that if you listen to even just 5 minutes of it and it made you think, we thank you.
We did what we came to do.
We
If
honestly
if you're
thank you.
thinking even for 5 minutes, we did what we came to do.
Right.
We
And we
brought you a
honestly
different
thank you.
perspective that made you consider it.
And we're very grateful. And me and Black gonna continue doing what we've been doing. So with
Mm-hmm.
that, when the clocks reset,
We gonna be right here with y'all.
we're gonna be right here with y'all, bringing you the latest and greatest. Please, knowledge is power. Never forget that. Continue chasing your dreams. And like Black has said plenty of times, dreams mean what?
Dreams mean that you must deliver
Mm-hmm.
those results.
Mm-hmm.
And you know when you deliver them results even after you've already met those standards.
So with
Because
that,
those
yeah.
standards are reality. But when you
True.
meet those standards and exceed those standards, now you in the dream world. Now you in the world where anything is possible.
and you just don't stop with your dreams. You keep moving forward. But with that, stay safe out here, America. Good night.
Oh, definite. Peace.